And welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. Orion Pirates mod. I'm Fleet Admiral Tarek of the Heavy Battlecruiser GCS Protector as we continue our campaign against what remains of the Klingon Star Empire. And we have been sieging out the planet of 812. It is an Empire defense of 23. So if we succeed in 5 more missions or so, we should actually take this planet. So with that in mind, I'm going to immediately start getting the ball rolling. We're going to set out into space, see what we can get done. And if no mission pops up here, but a mission did, and I'm going to, neither one are particularly interesting, but both of them need to be taken anyway, so I suppose we're taking a surprise reverse. An interesting way to begin the day. Basically, we just get to warm up our plasma torpedoes, go rushing on in, breaking whoever we happen to run into. It's a not terrible way, you know. Nice chill. After all, warm-ups and stretching are very important in any sort of workout regime. So that's exactly what it is we're going to do up today. So we're going to increase the speed of time as we charge up everything on the boat, as we have quite a few systems to actually get rocking and rolling. Now that we have more power, we can go even faster. And I'm keeping the enveloping plasma torpedoes because that'll allow us to kill things just a little bit quicker. I do think that is the fastest way to victory. Anyway, it's a light cruiser, a frigate, and a light cruiser. So, yeah, I think you're going to die. And in relatively short order, although we are going a little bit too fast, so our plasma torpedoes are not yet ready. Make sure the phasers are overloaded properly, because we need to hit them like a ton of bricks. Come on, R-types, get ready. They look to be ready. Fire the plasma. We're going to fire at him and then see if he needs any more additional phaser fire. He did not. And then we're going to come over here and use all of our plasma torpedoes that are remaining, the 4 S-type plasma torpedoes, which gives us a main broadside barrage, not broadside because we don't do broadside, but a main barrage of ridiculous amounts of firepower. Plasmas away. I think you'll die to that, but if not, I have phasers ready to go finish you off. No, you died. Plasma torpedoes to normal mode, just so that they'll be available kind of quickly. And we'll come around, and honestly, I should be going for the corners, but we're already here. He's got D-type plasma torpedoes. He's got D-type plasma torpedoes. How about the last one? He is packing F-type plasma torpedoes. He's actually dangerous, so I will actually spend a little bit more time to rush on over here, see if I can't just annihilate him with all of my phaser firepower. Then we'll higher energy turn and turn around and annihilate the rest of the group as we go through. That is the way of things. So I do believe that 10 phaser X's should be able to do the job. I was wrong. Well, that's because 10 phaser X's weren't being fired. We didn't shoot several of them, which only shoot backwards, for reasons no one has yet to adequately explain to me. So we're going to immediately begin a high energy turn. It'll be faster than just attempting to go normally with a full distance turn, although we don't really need that much speed on the come about. That should be fine. And we'll just increase the speed of time. Slow down the ship, prepare the phasers, because that's what's going to be our main way of killing people, and we'll let the Gatling phasers do the rest of the job. They did. On to the last one, and a nice, easy, breezy, relaxed way to warm up for the day, so that we can throw ourselves into battleships and dreadnoughts and all other sorts of terrifying, crazy things. Though we didn't take any damage, our shields are in relatively good condition, although we did take a little bit of damage just from people exploding around us. But other than that, we are totally untouched. Now, the armor on the ship is a little bit low. We've been using some of our spare parts. We are not in mint condition anymore, but I think we can handle it. Planetary assault, let us rock and roll. Also, we're at 31,139 prestige. That is just kind of ridiculous. And the year is 2340. So, we've gone nearly 100 years in game, I think. Oh, wow, I don't think I've ever seen this one before. That is beautiful. Alright, overload all systems. Let's see what's going on. First of all, do we have friends? The answer to that question is no. Wait, what did I press? I pressed A button.
Scanning now.
Ah, okay. I hit the wrong button. Alright, anyway, we're squaring off against a heavy cruiser and a planet. There could potentially be another target somewhere out there. We're going to check the fleet screen. It is a DWDX. Should be relatively easy to kill. And a PKZ. Oh, hang on a second. Are you super planet? Are you death, destruction, incarnate of all doom that ever doth come to these realms? Send a probe. First and foremost, do you have a friend? The answer to that question is no. It's just going to be us and the planet. So how? Oh god, no. Oh god, yeah, this planet. So that's going to be an interesting barrage. Let's try not to take any damage. Let's first of all get the forward shield fully reinforced so that we're ready to rock and roll. We'll also prepare our tractor beam. And how much power do I have in the forward shield at the moment? 21. Yeah, that ought to be good. So this planet is death incarnate, and it's actually going to require us to go somewhat slow in order to take things out, instead of just leaping on into the battle immediately and seeing what happens. No, we have to actually do this properly, because if we don't, we will die. Now, the DWD is, of course, a drone cruiser, and we don't really care, because we have more than enough capability to handle that. Like so. Okay, so we've destroyed the forward target. He didn't get through our forward shield reinforcement at all. And now we just need to start slow boating it over to the planet. So for this, I'm going to require to consult the Pamphlet of Justice, which is, of course, comes with every copy of Empire at War, if you bought the boxed set. If you didn't, I feel sorry for you. You should really get it. It's a really nice manual. It really is. And it comes with a handy little weapons pamphlet that also shows firing arcs, which, by the way, if you're modding, this firing arc chart is the greatest thing ever to just have sitting there, because you need to type in manually what all these firing arcs are for any weapon that you're including. Anyway, we have a plasma R torpedo, which is effective out to a range of, well, technically 30, but we wouldn't do that. I need to start slow down so I actually have some defense, because he has a stupid number of phaser 4s, just so we know what we're getting involved with. Effective range kind of is about a range of 25, in which case it is 20 damage on the plasma torpedo. We can overload at that point. We'll do 40, but it'll divide by 6. It'll take us a little while to crunch through his shields, but we can do it, because the AI will be covering all of his shields. Holy crap, he's through all of my shield reinforcement. Slow down. I've got to go even slower. So, yeah, this could be a problem. I suppose a range of 28 is also doable, but, well, technically, if we wanted to, the range of 30 is possible. But I would like to get within a range of 25. That'll allow my plasma S torpedoes to start contributing to the battle as well. Except he's killing through all of my weapons. Yeah, that's the problem. Alright, so I guess we're going to start at 30. Yeah, he's holding this off. Let us do the following. This will help. Maximum electronic countermeasure. So this will help because now his weapons are going to be less effective. He will no doubt attempt to counter us, or at least I was anticipating he would attempt to counter us, but apparently not. So I'm going to get in just a little bit closer. I want to get to a range of 25. And if I can get to that range of 25, then we're in a good place. In fact, if he's not going to counter me, I'm going to drop this down to 4, because the maximum defense shift that we can gain and through normal means is a defense shift of 2, which requires 4 points of power in order to make happen. So yeah, slow boating it on in. Got to make sure that we do this one carefully and properly, otherwise he will kill us. I mean, we saw just how much fire he can dish out. I'm really surprised that he's not using his electronic countermeasure to counter my electronic countermeasures. Some might say an electronic countermeasure. But yeah, as you can see, with the defense shift of 2, we're doing much better. We're avoiding most of that damage, reducing it quite significantly. Although once we hit sub-range 25, I'm going to be... Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. But if we can survive... And stop. Alright, we're within range. All plasma torpedoes engaged. So this is not ideal. Our plasma torpedoes are not doing a whole heck of a lot of damage. They're barely making it, but they're making it. And that's going to be key here. So this is the plan. With enveloping plasma torpedoes, we must just continually bombard this planet from well beyond our effective range to make sure that we can actually hurt them. Can you imagine having to fight this planet as, say, the Federation? Well, the Federation might be able to do an okay job, depending on how many plasma torpedoes you brought to the fight. But that is a lot of firepower. So, first of all, he is packing 1, 2, 3, 4... 16 phaser 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got 40 phaser 4s. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And 20. Wait, yeah? Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 14. Yeah, and 20 disruptors. So he's kind of brought a significant amount of firepower to this fight. The 40 phaser 4s alone are just kind of ridiculous because the amount of damage they can deal is monstrously huge. Now, I am desperately hoping that he's not reinforcing all shield locations, because if he is, then I can't actually hurt him, I don't think, because I'm not dealing all that much damage to him. So from this range of just under 25, we are doing 40 damage with our plasma torpedoes divided by 6, so near enough 7. 6.5. 6? Yeah, 6.5 or so. To all sides of his shields, of which he's probably got at least 40. And then it's also being reduced further by the fact that he's shooting them with his 16 phaser 3s in point defense mode. Our plasma S torpedoes are doing either 1 or 5 damage. It's not really clear if we are currently at range 24 or 25 by the way that the game maths things out. And so we're not doing much damage at all with our plasma S torpedoes, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is those R-type plasma torpedoes will eventually carve through his defenses. And when that happens, that's when things will start working a little bit better, because then we'll start... Okay, good. We've knocked out his shields, and we've dealt 96 damage to him? Holy crap. So we are doing quite well, actually, I would say. Shield reinforcement, barely able to handle what's going on. Ooh, he's going after my defense shift. He's starting to reduce my defense shift, isn't he? Show me electronic countermeasure. Yeah, he's not dumb. Oh, no, wrong direction. Wrong direction. Woo. I gotta make sure that he can't stop me. So I'm gonna go maximal electronic countermeasure and continue the plasma bombardment. We have to reduce his power before he can actually, stop my electronic countermeasure, because the moment he does that, we're in a lot of trouble. With a 51 damage to it. Alright, so we are currently surviving okay. So what he did was he put 1 point of power to the ECCM, which means the amount of total power that we have in our electronic countermeasure dropped to 3. Well, the square root of 3 is less than a whole number, and therefore we do not get the whole number. Yeah, there he goes again. Come up to 5 again. Are you going to follow me? No, he's going to drop it off. Okay, so we got to hold it at 5, just to make sure that he doesn't try and stop us too badly. I need to be firing these plasma torpedoes so the S's go first. That way they soak up the fire, because they're doing almost nothing anyway. Did we do, like, 0 damage on that? Because that's what that looks like. I'd love to launch a probe, but there's kind of no point. Really, this is the absolute maximum effective range we can probably fight from. I suppose we could try and get a little bit closer. I mean, our shields are dropping down to a strength of about 7 to 10 when we get hit by one of those bigger salvos, but I'm kind of not thinking that would be the best idea. Shields are coming back, but we managed to hit him again for 61. Yeah, we've got to make sure that we've got the S-type plasma torpedoes firing first. Just make sure, yeah, that'll work. So my firing groups on this are 1 is phasers, 2 is all plasma, 3 is plasma R's, and 4 is our plasma S's. So we'll lob the plasma S's first, make sure that they're slightly ahead. That way the phaser 3s will shoot at the mostly worthless plasma S's. And then we'll follow that up with the big boys. And hopefully that'll work to our advantage. And now that they've got a little bit of lag on them, I can probably just hold the right phasers. Okay, another 75 damage, so that definitely worked. But I have no doubt that he is just armored to the gills, and actually damaging this thing in any significant way is going to require a lot of firepower. Now, actually, if I stop to think about it, a Godzilla-class battleship could probably do this a little bit easier. And the only reason for that would be is because we are very heavily skewed towards heavy weapons firepower. But we're not super well equipped with defensive tech compared to a battleship. Oh good, they've got light damage. So that means that when we're having to tank all of these shots, we can only do so much, and so that forces us to stay back further. So even though the Godzilla has less effective long-range plasma torpedoes, because it's got 2 R's, 2 S's, 2 F's, instead of the 2 R's, 4 F's, or 4 S's, because of that, he can hang out closer to the planet and thus get more out of his R and S-type plasma torpedoes. So he might actually be able to siege this planet just a little bit easier. Yeah, several systems are offline. Send the probe. Oh, wow. We have done good work so far. He has to knock out some pretty significant numbers of his phaser force. So every single phaser 4 mount that goes down, that's 4 phaser 4s. That's 1/10 of his phaser 4 firepower, which is pretty significant to begin with. And reducing it like that is even better. So if we just keep stripping away his systems, then I think we've got this one basically won. Apparently they're almost crippled, although... Oh wait, I've been looking at the wrong hull entirely. I've been looking at my own, which is somewhat dented. Probe! Oh yeah, they really are almost crippled. Let's start getting in a little bit closer. I think we can do it. I think we can handle the firepower. I hope. Also, how many Marines do you currently have left? Oh, I'm at 15. I'm going to have to do something about that in so much short order. More plasma. Just all the plasma. If we flood him with enough plasma, he might die. Eventually. Hopefully. He doesn't appear to be trying to shoot down any more plasma torpedoes, so he's either got massive power problems or he's suffering heavily in other areas. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit more, start getting in close, because I don't know how many spare parts he's going to have, but I'm going to hope it's not enough in order to actually stop us. We can finally actually start getting accurate views of his hull integrity. We are sub 20 range, and he is not doing all that great. Plasma torpedoes to follow up. Let's see if we can really start breaking them, because now we're starting to close the range. Now we're doing over 200 damage to him in plasma torpedoes. Starting to get partial sensor data on this one. So within a range of 10, we'll start being able to read his shield status. And from there, well, we can probably start figuring out... Yeah, he's down to 2. I think we've got him. We have taken him successfully. From ultimate long-range plasma bombardment, we then were able to finish him off relatively efficiently. More plasma. Just all the plasma at this point. Alright, so now we can start to slow down because we are technically in range. All up and select. Once we get sub-range 5, we're going to engage with phasers as well. Just to make sure that it doesn't manage to survive what I'm about to do to them. Because if he starts to shoot me with like 16 phaser 4s or something like that, we might have a bit of a problem here. Okay, so he does have these phaser 4s still. Apparently he either doesn't have the power or they don't have a weapon mark. But I was actually under the impression that these had like a 360-degree weapon mark. Keep the plasma, just flood it, don't let him recover. Deal over 400 damage, that's the way we do things around here. We're the Gorn after all. We just continue the bombardment and eventually they'll surrender, right? That's how this works. Although at some point, sometime soon, we are going to have to go home. Because we're running out of Marines. That's the only reason. I wouldn't bother going home with the amount of damage that we have, nor would I bother like with spare parts because we really don't need them very often. But Marines are a little bit more of an immediate concern. So we beam over 4 at a time. We're down to 11 Marines at this point. So we can do this 3 more times. 495 prestige. It's kind of a like not a useful measure anymore. We're forced to do another mission because the surprise reverse is holding us in position. So we'll grab the patrol because surprise reverse, it's interesting to do once, maybe twice, not 3 times. Eventually you just get bored with it. Overload all systems, increase the speed up to a speed of 4. But let's go with the forward shield reinforcement of maximum power. And get ready to go. We are being escorted today by the Mockery, which is a pirate heavy raider? Carrier? Some description. PHV. Yeah, battle heavy carrier, gotta be something like that. Full speed of time until we actually manage to run into our enemy. And once we do, we can prep the tractor beam. Hey, it's C9 Dreadnought. That's not terrible. That's something that we can sink our teeth into. We're kind of designed to kill ships like that. So let's kick on the speed. We'll send on the probe just to see if he's really alone. And it does appear like he is actually alone. Wonderful. Alright, let's rush on in here. And get into the nice point-blank range fire. Because once we're there, he will not survive. He can try as best as he can, but it's going to be terrible for him. He doesn't realize it yet, but he's about to die. Alright, let's slow down the speed time. I have put 1 point of electronic countermeasure in just to see if I can't. Oh, don't you dare. Hi, buddy. You are mine. Yep, we got him. Phasers engaged. And let go with the tractor beam. Thank you. And give him a little bit of Gatlin love. Oh, the Gatling phasers are so good. Alright, so we've managed to basically cripple him. I would attempt to steal him, but I don't think he's going to give me the chance. I think that the Mockery is going to probably wipe him out before we get that opportunity. And we should really slow down. You know what? Plasma torpedoes to normal one. Just give me all the free power you ever could have. So we've almost got him. I think the fighters are probably going to finish him off. Just, yeah. Although look at how much damage those dreadnoughts do when they explode. To fighters especially. That went from almost full fighters to 1. The second group. The first group just disappeared entirely because it had already been softened up by the AMD. But yeah, we are basically tailor-made to wipe these things out. 206 prestige is our reward. And another tile taken. So we've almost got this one surrounded. And let's go pass on through here and see what we've got. Another planetary assault. We can weaken it even further until it is doomed. Doomed, I tell you. Alrighty, red alert, overload. We're gonna do this properly. We got a new drone cruiser along with us, the USS Yamamoto, and we're squaring off against a standard PL-12 and a heavy cruiser. According to the fleet screen, the heavy cruiser is a DXD. So that's a not terrible heavy cruiser, if I'm completely honest. It's fairly nice. It's got a capital X in the name, which does mean, and we've started slowly learning this, that the capital X ships show up, the capital X suffix ships show up before the little x suffix ships show up, and way before the capital X prefix ships showed up. So the DX, the capital X, is not at the front. It is somewhere afterwards. Although for most ships that I see with it, it's like, it would be CX or CAX or something like that. Alright, let's go increase the speed. Although I think the CAX is like an armored priority transport or something like that. Give me tractor power. And we're going to basically blow you into little tiny pieces. I mean, we already knew that. Basically, the ship does one thing, and it does it quite well. It jumps on top of people and annihilates them. And it's quite good at it. Mainly because the AI does not understand. Oh, he's coming right in for me. He's a Gorn ship. Clearly he's going to try and hug me. Look at them little huggy arms. They're out there to sort of wrap around the ship. And you're dead. You're not dead. Now you're dead. I'm surprised he survived. How did he survive? We will never know. We're going to pick up that. I'm going to slow down the ship a little. Oh, no, we should be good. Yeah, we're just going to cruise on in. It is just a standard PL. It has no actual defenses, so we can basically abuse the crap out of that. It'll have 8 phaser 3s, but that's not any real concern. As long as we stay outside of a range of 2.99, we are literally untouchable by them. So we're just going to chug along, get in there, and blast it as best as we can. Because at the end of the day, are you really afraid of these things? The answer to that question is, of course, no. In fact, we have the capability, I believe, of knocking him from maximum Marines to 0 Marines in one salvo. So we're going to see if we can't do that, because that's always fun. Also, it'll be one of the fastest planetary assaults that we can do. Hi, buddy. I gift you plasma. Oh, shoot. Yep, maximum Marines to 2 Marines. Send in the Marines. That's what we can do. Just instantaneously to a normal PL. A PLPH takes a little bit more work, and a PLZ takes a lot of work, but as you can see, relatively simple to knock out planets at this stage in the game. We're just too powerful for them. They do not understand the depths of our strength. I really should fix these at some point, but it's not so... Well, that could be important. And that could be important. Although it is saving us on number of Marines, because we're only sending 3 at a time. I'm not going to fix that. I am deliberately not going to fix that. So we're just going to leave it. And there we go. Planet has been successfully captured. The Gorn doing what the Gorn do best. Hit everything with a sledgehammer. That's also kind of the only thing that the Gorn can do. But hey, they do it really well. And there's something to be said for specialization. 495 prestige is, of course, our reward for a job well done. And the planet is neutral, but we're going to have to leave it there for today. I've been Mirak. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.